Welcome back to the channel, and today I thought I'd talk you through how I lost over 7 kilos of body fat in less than 50 days. Not only did I do this whilst holding down a busy job, I also managed to navigate around numerous social occasions along the way. If you want to find out just how I did this, then stick around in this video and I'll talk you through everything I did. Oh, and if you'd like my free 7-day fat loss course, then head down to the bio, follow the link and I'll send it over. Right then, let's get into the video. So I'm going to talk you through the main 5 points that I followed in order to lose 7 kilos of body fat so you can do exactly the same. So the first thing I did was work out how many calories I need to consume in order to lose body fat. So what I did was times my body weight in kilos by 2.2 to get my body weight in pounds. I then times that number by 10 to give me my overall calories, and I ensured that I stuck to that every single day during the process. It's also worth mentioning while I'm talking about calories the importance of calorie banking. Now, during this period of time where I was trying to lose body fat, I had numerous social occasions on, including my sister's wedding reception. I went to a couple of football games and had a couple of drinks out with friends. So to navigate around this, it's really important that I work out how many calories I'm going to be going over my allowance on these days, so I can work out how many calories to pull back prior to the event. This is called calorie banking. It's something that I do with all of my clients when we work around social occasions to ensure we're getting really good results in terms of fat loss, but also not missing out on life. Point number 2 is our steps. Now, as I always say, there's nothing magic about steps. They're just a very good indication to how active somebody is overall. As a general rule, the more steps we do, the easier it is to get into a calorie deficit and the easier it is to lose body fat. So I increased my steps during this process. I do around 7,000 or 8,000 steps per day if I was just doing life, so not trying really. I've got quite an active job. I do personal training sessions in the day. I have a boot camp company. I've got a dog which I walk every day. So generally I'll get 7,000 to 8,000 steps in just doing life. But I wanted to get my steps up to 10,000 or more every single day. So I added a 20-minute walk in. That might be in the morning. It might be between clients. It might have been in the evening. This is in addition to my normal day-to-day stuff to make sure that my average steps increased over the week. Now, if there were days, which they were, in that period where my steps weren't up to scratch, say for example, work just got too much that day and I just didn't have time to get the steps in, I can overachieve on other days, so my average for the week is still 10,000. So for example, a lot of you watching this will have busy jobs and busy days in the week, but perhaps on a weekend we can get longer walks in, so our average for the week increases. Point number 3 is sleep. Now, sleep, if we could bottle sleep up and sell it in tablets, it would be probably the most valuable Class A drug out there. It is so important, and something that I've learned the hard way over the years. I've had periods of time where I didn't get enough sleep and thought it was normal, and I didn't realise the effect not only it was having on my health, but just everything in my life, to be honest. So during this process, and all the time, to be completely honest, not just when trying to lose body fat, I recommend 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. So I make sure I get to bed early. I try and be in bed by 9:30, asleep by 10 every single night. I get up quite early, 5:30, 6 o'clock, to give me the most or the best chance of getting a good amount of sleep in there. Again, I cannot stress the importance of sleep. If we're not getting good sleep, then we're going to struggle with everything else. Our recovery is going to be poor, our mood's going to be poor, our ability to perform well, not just in fitness, but at work and as a good partner, a good parent, everything's going to be not as good if we're not getting enough sleep. So really important, that one. Make sure we're focusing on sleep. Point number 4 is hydration. Now, hydration is very important and it's something that most people neglect. Most people that I start working with tell me that they drink okay, but the reality is they don't. They're probably drinking less than a litre a day, if that, some people. So I advise 1 litre per 25 kilos of body weight. So I'm around 85 to 90 kilos, depending on the time of year, depending on what I'm doing, what I'm training towards, whether I'm trying to bulk up, whether I'm trying to lean down. So I aim for 3.5 to 4 litres or more every single day. And finally, point number 5, which is training. Now, this is an interesting point because you've probably heard me speak about this before. Your actual training has very little impact on fat loss. In fact, hardly any. The calories we burn during a gym session or strength session or whatever session we're doing is generally quite low compared to the overall calories we burn through steps, for example. However, training is really important as to controlling how we're going to look when we've lost that body fat. And what I mean by that is a lot of people come to me and say, Jack, I want to lose 2 stone, 3 stone, 10 kilos, 20 kilos, whatever it is. But they also want to look a certain way, and the training controls how you're going to look once you've lost the weight. So 2 people that lose 10 kilos, for example, one that trains and one that doesn't are going to look very different at the end of that process. The person that has trained is going to look better visually and going to be happier about their shape. The person who's just lost the weight may also be happy, but probably hasn't made any difference or any change to their shape. So for me, I obviously wanted to lose body fat, but I also wanted to prioritize my chest, my shoulders, my arms, my back, my key features that I really want to look good. So my training plan focused on those key areas. I designed my plan so I was working on the areas that I really wanted to look good once I'd lost the body fat. I trained 3 times a week. I tried to keep it realistic. A lot of you watching this will be thinking, you know, I can't train 5, 6, 7 days a week. And to be honest, I can't either. I've got a very busy life, busy job. Although I work in the gym a lot of the time, I haven't got endless hours to train. So I try and train 3 days a week, just like a lot of you guys, but I make sure those sessions are tailored to the areas that I really want to change and really want to focus on. So if you're looking to lose body fat and you would like to get a result similar to what I achieved, losing over 7 kilos of body fat in less than 50 days, I would strongly recommend you following the points I've spoken about in this video. So thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed, please drop me a subscribe. If you want to head over to Instagram and give me a follow, I'd be really, really grateful, and I'll catch up with you in my next video.